Hello, my friends. I'm Bee, and this is Bee's Intuition. Today, we're going to do a reading about what do others secretly admire about you. I think this will be a fun one. Let's just dive right into it. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do others secretly admire about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. What do others admire about the collective? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Okay, this. No, I'll put it back in if it's meant to come out. Ooh, okay, we got one. What do people secretly admire about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. What do people secretly admire about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. Oh, something flipped. Okay. Alright, let's just go with those for now. Okay, so we got 3 cards that came out. We have 8 of Pentacles. I feel like that's something about your creativity and maybe how you apply it towards your work. 4 of Swords. I feel like you give off like cares for themselves kind of vibes. Page of Swords. You're very observant. I feel like not a lot gets past you. 6 of Wands. You may be coming into some sort of success here, or maybe people just see you as somebody that is successful. Let's just start clarifying, okay? Starting with that 8 of Pentacles. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do people secretly admire about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Regarding that 8 of Pentacles, please and thank you. Can you clarify that 8 of Pentacles for us? Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything about that 8 of Pentacles? What do people secretly admire about the collective? Okay, and one fell out. Oh my. Clarifying that 8 of Pentacles, we have the King of Cups. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. So you have this creativity when it comes to maybe your career, your work, projects, or maybe whatever you work on, you add a touch of creativity to it. But I feel like something about the heart space is quite significant for you. Oh my gosh, bottom of the deck, Page of Swords, which is funny because we have the Page of Swords here as well, so that's kind of a funny little thing. Yeah, there's something about how you... Ooh. Your mind is very interesting because you have this creativity, but you apply it to those things that are like in your material world, or maybe you have a practical way of using your creativity. And then like with the King of Cups, you're somebody that honestly, this feels like you master the heart space in some way, or maybe you've mastered your own heart space. I feel like you're very connected to the heart space and your emotions. You could be highly intuitive, and that could be also applied to like the work that you do. I feel like people really see you as somebody that is very much almost like an authority when it comes to love or the heart space, or maybe being connected to the heart space or your intuition or feelings in general. Maybe people see you as a master of somebody, or you are a master of emotions or mastering your own emotions. So maybe people see you as somebody that's quite emotionally stable. Like, even if you do experience tumultuous emotions within yourself, I feel like you don't let it show on the outside. And that could be a good thing, but it could also be maybe a hindrance in some ways. Maybe those around you who want to support you most may not know that you need to be supported because you hide things so well when it comes to your own emotional state. You could be somebody that also takes on a lot of responsibility when it comes to maybe other people's emotions. You could be seen as maybe somebody that helps to, or helps others sort of navigate their own emotions and maybe find ways to cope in a way that is very, or healthier maybe, or I don't know. I feel like you really help people deal with their emotions in some way. I don't know if you necessarily go into these situations with that intention, but I feel like whether you know this or not about yourself, I feel like people, through interacting with you, they feel like you help them deal with their emotions in some way. It could also be your perspective or point of view, because you're so attached to the heart space and you have like this creativity and like you're observant and you have like a very inquisitive mind. These are all like aspects of you that I feel like a lot of people actually really admire, but I'm not even getting just specifically admire. I'm also getting that people appreciate this about you. And I feel like this could definitely be people that are closer to you that feel this way about you, because I think that you probably definitely have like a close circle of friends who you help, whether you intentionally help them or not. I feel like just being around you and interacting with you, you help people see things from a different perspective, or you help people see things clearer. And it's beautiful because it's like these unique qualities that you sort of combine. I feel like you're very much a multifaceted person and people really pick up on that. Like there's more to you than just meets the eye. I feel like there is like complexity about you that people really pick up on. I also think that you could be very much, what's it called? Misunderstood, because the spider is really being emphasized for me. And a lot of people, see spiders as pests, something to kill or get rid of. But they're, very helpful to actually have in your house if you don't want to deal with flies, if you don't want to deal with other insects. And they like serve their purpose, not to mention that they are very much creative. Like if you've seen a spider web, they are beautiful works of art. And there's certain things about you that maybe people see as maybe this is something that people pick up on, that maybe you are somebody that gets misunderstood very easily. There could even be something that's maybe even a little bit and this is going to be sort of a judgmental statement, but maybe there's something a little bit scary about your aesthetic, or not even scary necessarily, but maybe you wear darker clothes, or you express yourself in a very specific way that maybe people have certain assumptions about. That could be something too. Maybe you're somebody that expresses themselves alternatively in some way. And so maybe people have like misconceptions about that aesthetic or appearance, or like there could be assumptions made about you before people get to know you. And so a lot of people could pass judgment on you before they get to know you and really see your value. And so maybe in the past you've been like looked over because of maybe how you look, or just because I'm almost getting it's this weird feeling that I'm getting about your appearance, that it could either be that I'm getting either something about you could like almost scare people at first, or intimidate it even. So maybe there's like something that's maybe even slightly intimidating about your aesthetic or presence. And it could be like maybe your confidence, or the fact that you're confident in the way you combine your multitude of characteristics to bring projects together or something. But there's could be intimidation, but there's also like this feeling of like, at one point in your life, you may have been seen as unassuming. Oh, okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting with the spiders. Like, okay, so if you imagine like maybe a small spider, and maybe it's like super venomous, but like it's so small that you're like, that little thing ain't gonna hurt me, I'm a big human. And so you go to smack it and maybe it bites you, and it's like, oh no, like that was a venomous spider, oh no, I'm dying, or maybe I need to go to hospital, I don't know. Whatever happens when a venomous spider gets you. So it's almost like you could have been overlooked for being unassuming at one point in your life. Maybe it could have even been in your youth. Maybe like you, because this is personally applying to my own past. Like I used to be very plain looking, or at least that's how I felt about myself. And so in my past, I feel like I definitely probably got overlooked because of my sort of plain, unassuming appearance. And that's not to say that that was me or that that was true to maybe how others perceive me or whatever, but it could be along those lines. Maybe when you were younger, you maybe felt more that your appearance was sort of plain or sort of everyday or not very eye catching or something. And so maybe you've sort of evolved into somebody that is now standing out in some way and sort of leaving their mark upon the world is what I'm getting. That's really beautiful. Um, yeah, so it's like there's a part of this message where it's like you could have been unassuming and people overlooked you because, you know, people like to judge on based on appearances a lot of the time. And then there's the other part of it where it's like maybe you slightly have something a little bit intimidating about your energy or your appearance. And so people could misjudge you in that way. But I feel like this sense of being very much misjudged or misunderstood throughout your life. And honestly, this feels like a continuation of a theme. Not even necessarily that it happened at one point in your life and then stopped. I feel like maybe you continuously have to deal with people underestimating you or misunderstanding you. And so maybe you feel like the need that you have to constantly clarify yourself or maybe make your points really well known or clearer or very straight across. Like, I don't know. There's just something about you that feels a little bit misunderstood. And so maybe people at first kind of make certain assumptions about you. And of course, it's going to be different based on the individual that I'm connecting with right now. But yeah, on the surface, they may make these assumptions about you, but it's almost like as soon as they start to look under that surface, they see your true value. And especially with that King of Cups, like this is a very valuable character in the tarot, you know? Like the kings are definitely bosses in their own right. But yeah, I feel like you have a heart of gold. The gold in this image is really sticking out to me. I think that you have a heart of gold, and that could be something that maybe even catches people off guard, especially if maybe say you have an intimidating appearance or something about you people kind of see as being intimidating, but then it's like as soon as they have a conversation with you, I feel like people really enjoy how your mind works, especially with the pages coming up, or the Page of Swords specifically coming up, and that Eight of Pentacles, excuse me, Eight of Pentacles there. I feel like there's something about how your mind works that is just very entrancing, hypnotizing. Like it really draws people in, and I almost feel like people don't expect the depth to you. But I almost feel like it doesn't take very much effort to see that depth. It just takes the desire to look further. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes people can take something at face value, make a judgment, and just keep on with their life and never really desire to truly know the truth of that person or that thing. And so, where was I going with that? Yeah, so pretty much as long as somebody is willing to look under the surface and maybe just have a conversation with you, like literally, like as soon as you open your mouth, people can make all the assumptions that they want, but as soon as you open your mouth and you start to speak, and you start to speak about like maybe your perspective of things or the things that you have observed in your own life, or maybe the way in which you apply your creativity to the real world or your projects or something, the way in which you use your love, your heart space, your intuition, even your feelings, your sensitivities. Like it's just like a lot behind you, you know, like you just have a certain amount of depth to you that I feel like anybody that cares to see that will see that. Do you know what I mean? I actually really like that. I really do get this very much inquisitive, student-like energy about you. I feel like maybe you could be that kind of person that is constantly learning, constantly looking for something new to learn about, constantly trying to grow, and, you know, especially when it comes to like getting new information. So maybe if you have like certain opinions that maybe you're very strict about, I still feel this sense of flexibility within you about like being able to not be so tightly confined to those opinions. And say if somebody were to bring up certain information that you weren't aware of in the past, or I don't know, I feel like you're very adaptable is what I feel, especially when you're given like information or other perspectives. Like there's something about you willing to adapt, especially if you feel like you misjudged a situation, or you may have made um, some sort of maybe misconception or preconceived notions of your own. I feel like you definitely are flexible and you're open to learning. And I think that people really appreciate that part of you, because it definitely gives you this grounded, humble, down to earth sort of energy. And it really does. Like, I honestly feel like because you're at that level of student, you actually help people learn, because it's like, let's learn this thing together. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense how I'm wording it, but it's very much like this beautiful energy of like, I'm also learning, so let's learn this thing together. And there's like no shame in that. And there shouldn't be any shame in learning, especially at any age. I feel like at certain times in our life, we can sometimes feel a certain pressure, if we're like a certain age, to maybe feel like we should know everything. But life is just one of those things where you just never stop learning. Well, as long as you're open to learning, that's the thing. Because a lot of people may still need to learn, but because of their ego or their pride or their sense of self-identity, they are unwilling to learn. And that's really sad to me, because I feel like life is very much one of the spices of life. Wait, what did I just say? Learning is the spice of life? That's what I meant to say. I don't know what I said. I'm a little bit out of it today. Anywho, yeah, I really do like how you have that mind, and I think that people really admire that about you, that you have this curiosity about you. You're also observant, and you know how to like observe people and maybe catch patterns in others. But yeah, I feel like you're very open-minded and you're very open to learning, and maybe you even have a thirst for knowledge. Like this unquenchable thirst for knowledge. You're constantly looking to find something to learn about. Like, you could even dabble in certain areas of interest, I'm getting. Maybe you have multiple areas of interest, and so you like to sort of dabble in those areas and learn more about each of those areas of your life or your interests. I really like that, and I think that other people really like that too about you. With that King of Cups as well, I feel like people may definitely catch feelings for you very easily, especially when they get any sort of idea of how your mind works. It's like, yeah, as soon as you open your mouth, as soon as you talk, they see your creativity. They see how loving you are, how in tune you are to your intuition or your emotions, or maybe other people's emotions. And you have that curiosity about you. You're always willing to, like, there's just so many things to love about your mind and the way that you see things, the way in which you are in the world. And I think that people might actually fall in love with you quite easily. I don't know if they'll ever communicate that sort of thing to you, but it definitely feels like that could be in the energy as well. Is like, people love your mind and your personality and all those things within you so much that they could definitely catch feelings very easily. You could even be one of those people that maybe like certain people almost see you as a soulmate, even if you're not their soulmate. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like the way in which your mind works is just so unique. You have this perspective of the world, which is so refreshing. And I feel like because you have such a unique and beautiful spirit, that you may even find people almost like being kind of silly with crushes with you. Like maybe people that barely even know you, or like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with that person. It's like, I don't think you know them well enough to be in love with them, but I feel like that could be definitely something, is like maybe, yeah, Yeah, as soon as people like, and I feel like, you know, people could be attracted to you off the bat anyways because of like your appearance maybe, or something more superficial, but I feel like that's just the start of it. Like, it just, oh my gosh, people really fall for you when they start to hear what you have to say, and the way in which, maybe even when they observe how you work, that could be incredibly attractive to people. I feel like people definitely are attracted / get feelings for you very easily just because you're such a very special light, you know? And you're unique. You have like this very unique complexity to you. Okay, let's go into that Four of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have for that Four of Swords? Please and thank you. What do people admire about the collective? Or what do people secretly admire? Yeah, this is about secretly admiring things. So this is stuff that probably people don't really say to you, but they feel. Some people are too proud, or maybe their ego would be too triggered to actually tell you the truth of how they feel about you or what they think and what they admire. But that doesn't mean that people aren't admiring those things. Just because somebody hasn't mentioned it doesn't mean that they're not admiring those qualities that you have. This one's really interesting. Clarifying that Four of Swords, we have the Judgment in the reverse. Oh my. Okay, the Empress. I didn't see that one came out. Empress, Hanged Man, Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords, Star card. This is actually really beautiful energy. So I honestly am getting that people probably see that you're incredibly spiritual and they really like that. People definitely see that you have a heightened sense of intuition. I don't know if they would specifically, no. I don't know if they would specifically point that out as intuition, but like there's something very special. Maybe you have like this knowing about things and people kind of pick up on that. To be honest, with that Judgment card in the reverse, I feel like this is, yeah, honestly, I feel like you're very non-judgmental. I'm just gonna say that's what I'm picking up on right now. Like I'm also getting like this sense of like, it's not my place to judge others. Maybe you're even somebody that's like, leave it to God to judge people. Like, I don't need to judge people. I feel like this really strong sense of like humbleness, groundedness. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just like, you may even find it almost useless to judge other people. And I think that part of that could be from your spirituality. Maybe your spirituality has helped you gain an open mind or help you see things from a different perspective. Maybe gain more understanding for people of all different backgrounds, circumstances, and stuff. And so you're like, who am I to judge? You know? Maybe you've even like done things that, you know, could have been judged in a certain way in the past. And so you're like, you know, I have no need to judge people. Maybe you were even judged as a younger person. I mean, with that Eight of Pentacles and the message I was getting of you being misunderstood, it makes a lot of sense. So maybe that past of being misunderstood or misjudged even, you could just be like, I have no desire to judge other people. Especially if they're like coming from backgrounds, circumstances that you have no experience with. I feel like this sense of like, who am I to judge that person? I have no idea what it's like to go through that circumstance. So I don't know how I would react to that circumstance. So why would I judge another person for going through that and reacting the way that they did, going through that difficult situation? And okay, I actually really love that that is followed by the Empress, because I feel like, you know, there's a part about the Empress that is very fair. Like, although she's powerful and, you know, she's attractive, like she has a lot of good stuff going on, but she doesn't let it like make her egotistical or anything like that, or make her feel and think that she's like above other people and that has to look down on them to feel better. Like, no, this is just somebody that is very content with who they are, and it's like that almost is their superpower. And again, there's something about being connected to the spirituality like your crown chakra, I feel like, is just very much so open, and you probably receive a lot of downloads, whether you realize that or not, from spirit. um there's just something about you that is so incredibly unique, and it stands out in people's minds. I feel like with that Empress, you make an impression for sure. I almost feel like well, there also is that element of the Empress that is beauty. So there could be something about your physical appearance, and maybe it is just your spirituality creating a certain radiance that kind of comes through the surface, you know? Um, it definitely feels like that certain quality that can't really be pinned on anything in particular. It's just like your essence is truly magnetizing. That Hanged Man, people see you as somebody that's incredibly enlightened, but you've also been through things that were uncomfortable. I feel like you've done a lot of self-work that was very uncomfortable, but it led you to having this higher perspective of things. You're very much tapped into the divine, and I feel like people pick up on that. And of course, they admire that about you. Yeah, you see things from a different perspective as well. And I think it's because of your own life experiences, circumstances, etc. It allows you to have like maybe a more open mind or a different sort of perspective of things. That's like not everyday sort of perspectives, or not mainstream. Queen of Pentacles. You're somebody that is incredibly kind, giving, very, oh my gosh. Like, I really love this energy because it just feels like I'm just minding my own business, working on my own stability, working on my own life. Like, honestly, like, I'm even getting, like, you're very unproblematic. Like, I feel like you could just be somebody that really just minds their own business, doesn't try to create drama, doesn't try to get involved with drama. Maybe even a little bit of a self-isolation sort of energy, which I guess makes sense with that Four of Swords that this is all clarifying. You could be a little bit self-isolating at times, but I feel like that's probably just part of your natural rhythm. You probably have like a social battery that sort of reaches its maximum, and you kind of have to take some time back to maybe recharge. But it's just like this chill, unproblematic energy that you give off that I feel like people really appreciate. King of Swords. I feel like you're like a boss. Like, you give off boss vibes, especially since you have had two kings so far that represent you. Like, there's something about you that really screams like boss, and by that I mean demanding respect, but not because you tell people that they should respect you. You simply have a certain energy, a certain confidence, a certain self-assuredness even. You just like have this way of like demanding respect, and people pick up on that, and they do give you respect. Or at least the ones that want to give you respect will. I'm sure you probably have been disrespected at one point in your life, but that could have been why nowadays you put on this energy of like, respect me, because you probably have known a past in which you were not respected. So maybe it's almost like you kind of have to take yourself seriously if you want anybody else to take you seriously, is kind of what I'm getting. You also have a way of communicating that is very strong. You have a way of getting your point across. But because of the other feminine energies that are part of this clarification, I don't think that it's cold. I don't think that you're removed from your emotions when you communicate, but you have the ability to maybe at times be a little bit straightforward, to the point, and sometimes people may interpret that as rudeness or whatever, but I think that's mostly the ego that is saying that, and not necessarily what your intentions are. Your cutoff game is strong. Okay, that's probably going back to your spirituality. You've probably had to learn how to cut people out of your life and stand on that. You know, stand on business is what I'm getting. Like, once somebody burns a bridge with you, you're like, you're done. You're not coming back anytime soon into my life. And I'm almost picking up on like that may not have always been that way. That could be something that you're more recently sort of embracing, you know? Yeah. You know your worth nowadays, I feel. And you show that through your actions and what you demand out of others. And if somebody doesn't live up to those standards, or somebody tries to, like, mess around, you just leave, is what I'm feeling. Especially if you feel like you're being disrespected. I feel like you're just like, okay, cool, I'm out. I'll never see you again. That's literally what I feel. Like, straight up. The Star card. So again, like, there's so many in this clarification for the Four of Swords. You're incredibly spiritually connected, and people see that. This one, to me, you have, I'm just gonna say it, you have some sort of star-like quality. There's something very special about your energy. I almost, like, I feel like sometimes I connect with people that don't realize that they have this sort of energy about them. And so you may not realize this energy, but it's like, it's so obvious to those around you. But because they feel like it's so obvious, you probably don't hear that a lot. And you probably are never told that you have that special quality about yourself. So you may not even know, because maybe nobody's ever told you that you have that special quality about yourself. But it's here. It's like something almost unmistakable here. Some people could even see you as an earth angel, here to heal. Heal yourself, heal others, heal the world. Like, you're sent from heaven to do something great on this earth. And I feel like people pick up on that. They may not know even. It could be something that's sort of subconsciously seeping through to people's consciousness, where it's like they may not know exactly why you stand out, or what catches their attention about you, but it's like this unmistakable energy. And it draws people in, and it makes people think, like, that person's doing something, that person's going somewhere, that person's going to make an impact in this world. And it's almost like that you may do that, or that you will achieve that, because it's like your purpose, and maybe you're aware of what your purpose is. And it's like, yeah, that you're meant to affect some sort of major change here in this life, in this world, in this reality. But you're constantly tapped into this, to the spiritual, the divine. I'm also getting, this could be a side note, to be honest, just for you. If you have a hard time trusting your intuition, maybe you should try to trust it a little bit more. I'm getting something about, like, maybe you have a hard time trusting your intuition, but, like, maybe trust that you know what you're talking about, or trust that those feelings that you're getting are real, or something like that. That could just be a message for somebody. Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. This is a little bit interesting, because it's almost like something about you is a little bit mysterious, or maybe not quite clear. Oh. This is a weird message. Okay, I'm just gonna say it because it's coming through. You may navigate your love life in a way that doesn't make sense to other people. I don't know if I'm articulating that correctly. Because, like, what I'm straight up getting, this is such a strange little message I'm getting. It's like, you could be somebody that might even have options in love, but you don't choose them, or you don't entertain them. Like, I honestly am getting, like, this feeling of, like, people looking at your love life in confusion, almost like, what is their game plan? Yeah, I feel like this feeling of people looking at you, looking at your love life, and they're being confused. Oh, so if people see you as an attractive person, there is the potential for people being confused that you're single if you're attractive, or if you have a certain special energy about you that sticks out in some way. People are like, wow, that's such a beautiful energy. I wonder why they're single. There's something about you that's like, or it could be maybe a different way. Maybe, I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe you are somebody that looks beyond the surface. So maybe You are attracted to people that may not be aligned with societal standards, and people are like, huh, why is that person dating that person if they look so out of their league or whatever? But I feel like you don't believe in that sort of thing, or you could not believe in that sort of thing, where it's like, why would I care if somebody's like according to societal standards, or if they're hot to everyone else? I only care if they're hot to me, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do feel like a sense of judgment, but it's coming out of a place of confusion and not really knowing where your mind is at or what you plan. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but it's like, it almost feels like certain people almost see it as like, if I were them, I would do this, this, and this. Or if I were them, I wouldn't date that person, I'd date this person. You know, it's like, to me, it kind of gives almost like people making assumptions about you, or I don't know. Like, I don't know. It feels weird because it's almost like people are making these judgments about your life or your love life, and it's just like, yeah, it's weird because it's like, if I were them, I'd do this. It's like, but you're not them, so why are you even thinking about them? That just feels like maybe like what people are thinking in the background, because it could even be that like people that are into you, even, they're like, maybe they just don't know what you're into. Like, because maybe your dating history, yeah, that could be a part of it. Is like, maybe your dating history is just like all over the place. Like, people of all different backgrounds, people of all different ethnicities, people of all different, I don't know, social statuses. Like, it feels like you just have such a unique way of doing your love life, or navigating your love life, or just navigating your life in general. And people are just like, why? Or like, yeah, mostly like, why do they do it that way is what I'm feeling. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, and again, like, there's something about you that I feel like people almost assume that you should fit into this box, or you should be a certain way, but you're not that way, and people are confused by that. That's what I'm getting more than anything. But I almost feel like, because this is a message about what people secretly admire about you, I almost feel like people actually admire that. They may be a little bit confused. They may kind of wonder why you do the things that you do in your love life or your life. But I feel like there's a secret admiration for it, because it's like, yeah, like maybe, for instance, maybe you go through a period of celibacy, and it's just for maybe your spiritual health, your mental health, I don't know, whatever. And so, yeah, maybe other people are like, well, if I had the options that that person has, I would not be celibate. I would be living it up, you know, kind of thing. And so maybe people see you as a celibate person, and they're like, why? Why aren't they out having fun? They're young, they're attractive, they should be going and doing everybody. I don't know. Just like a sort of message there. But yeah, people find you perplexing, and oh no. Yeah. People find you very interesting and intriguing. Um, Maybe they almost even like that you're kind of like a puzzle that they can't figure out. Some people might actually kind of like that. See you as like a puzzle that needs to be solved, or has yet to be solved. I feel like I've gotten that in another reading in the past, that message. Okay, let's go on to the Page of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do people secretly admire about the collective with that Page of Swords? Please and thank you. Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, that we'll take. We'll see if that comes out after. Oh. Da 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 da. Saturn by SZA is in my brain right now. Such a good song. Oh my god. Relatable. Anyways. Don't know where that came from. Anyways. Let's see. Clarify. That Page of Swords. We got Queen of Swords. Interesting. Seven of Wands came out in the reverse. Page of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. Ten of Wands at the bottom of the Ah, cool. So, that page of swords. Did I say page of wands? Okay, anyways. Page of swords. So, this I was actually getting as a message together. You have such a clear-headed, and it's based on self-knowledge. You know yourself very well, I feel. And maybe you even know like what things trigger you, what things could potentially trigger you, and how to avoid those triggers. I feel like there's like this clarity of yourself, and you know yourself. And that knowledge of yourself, I feel like the Seven of Wands in the reverse is kind of saying you don't really go into conflict very easily with others. There's something about you, I feel like you have a certain strength about you because like the Queen of Swords is no one to mess with, okay? Like you have power in your presence, in the way you demand respect. But it's like you're not going to get your hands dirty at the same time. Like, I don't know, it's kind of it's kind of attractive. I don't know. Like, even starting to work on me a little bit. Maybe I'm secretly attracted to this quality about you. Because, like, yeah. It's like you know yourself. Like, yeah, it's like a certain amount of confidence where you're like, this is not worth my time. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to spend my time, energy, and whatever else on maybe, like, arguing with you or trying to prove a point with you or fighting against you. I'm just not going to waste my time. Like, it's like I have bigger and better things to do with my time, and I'm not going to waste it on low vibrational people that are starting drama. Like, again, there's like that message about you really just do not like drama and you avoid it. And I don't know, you do it in a very skillful way, I feel. Like, it's like you have like, again, there's like something about your presence and about like you may even be able to gauge because this is clarifying the Page of Swords, which is about you being observant. And so I feel like you observe people and you get to know maybe psychology about people. And so because not only do you know yourself, I think you also know other people, maybe more than they even realize that you know about them. And it's like maybe you can even tell when people are in a lower vibrational energy and they're trying to maybe poke, prod you, like kind of, what's that word I'm looking for? Pressure you to react in a low vibrational way. And so you're like 10 steps ahead of anyone that tries to do that, and you're just like, no, I know you want me to argue with you, I know you want me to fight with you, I got better things to do, sorry, bye. And I think that honestly is attractive to people, but those people that maybe want you to be in that low vibrational energy, I think they probably get really upset with that or annoyed. But at the end of the day, you're just like, my peace is so much more important than whatever, ego, no matter what, how do I word this? Like, my peace is so important that I'm not gonna come into a place of the ego when I know I'm so much stronger than that. And you can see when people are obviously acting out of a place of ego or pride or hurt in that sort of way, rather than, genuine energy maybe. But yeah, you avoid that kind of stuff, and it's like you're just too clear-headed and too enlightened. Like, it's just like, to be honest, it's kind of beneath you, whatever that is. It could just be drama, it could just be people trying to fight with you, and you're just like, no. You shut it down immediately because you're just like, no, I'm not gonna waste my time with that. And then the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. You have like this passionate driving force, I feel, and it leads you to these new beginnings and growth. The passion could be based in the heart space, where it's just like things that kind of light up your heart, make you feel that sense of passion, maybe give you a sense of excitement. You go towards those things. Because like it's like something, you have also this curiosity about building things and finding ways to apply your creativity or your passions to the real world. And maybe something starts out as small as just like the smallest little thing, and then it's just like it grows into something much bigger. I don't know. I also feel like this could also be sort of linked to maybe if you have multiple interests, maybe how can I take this area of interest that maybe I'm super passionate about, and how can I start to build upon that to create something in the 3D world, to make it be like, to bring this into reality, bring this into my reality. People honestly see you as somebody that works magic in the way you bring things into reality. It feels like you're just like this constant source of growth. You're always looking for ways to improve yourself. You're always looking for new ways to grow. Again, new ways to learn, or maybe new subjects to learn, more information to learn. It's really such a beautiful energy here that I'm picking up on. With that 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, I feel like I've had this message again, like in one of my past readings as well. This is usually a card about being really overburdened and, typically not the brightest sort of card in the deck, but for whatever reason, I'm getting this as more of like a positive message where it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna say it because that's exactly how it came through. Damn, bitch, save some personality for the rest of us. Like, that's literally what I'm picking up on right now. Like, people, so as much as people admire all of these wonderful aspects of yourself, I almost feel like there could be maybe a certain demographic of that group that may also slightly kind of dislike you or envy that, maybe, for having so many wonderful qualities. Like, literally, it's like, hey, save some for the rest of us. So maybe if people think you're attractive and multi-talented, people are like, come on. Like, maybe some people feel like, oh, I'm not even good at one thing and this person's good at 12 things. Like, what the heck? And so I think as much as people are like, wow, this person has so many wonderful things about them that I enjoy and that I appreciate and that I admire, I also kind of envy the fact that they are maybe multi-talented or have many things about them that make them attractive. You may have even had people that you've dated in the past that were very insecure because you had so many wonderful qualities about yourself, and so maybe they self-sabotaged connections with you. Or maybe they did things that, were out of character because they didn't feel good enough. I feel like that's definitely a thing that may kind of go back and forth with you, is like people kind of may even sort of balance between this place of admiring you and envying you, and maybe that's something that you personally have experienced throughout your life. Okay, I think we'll just go right into the oracle, see what any other messages come out. Ooh. What do people secretly admire about the collective, please and thank you. Ooh. Okay. So, this is interesting. Simply Love and Master came out in the reverse. Ooh, this almost feels a little bit like a hidden part of you. Oh, I believe this is the Magician, the Master card. So manifestation. You're a master manifester, but maybe you kind of like try to sort of hide that part about you, or you try to like maybe downplay it a little bit. Maybe not everybody else picks up on it, but if they do, it's like, wow, that person's really cool. And then that Simply Love in the reverse, I feel like you have a very simply, or like a heart that just simply loves to love, is what I'm picking up with that. But the thing is, when you have something like that that is so pure and special like that, people tend to take advantage of it. So I feel like you try to kind of downplay that at times, or try to hide that a little bit. because you're used to people taking advantage of it, and you don't want to be seen as maybe weak. You don't want to be seen as like an easy target. I don't know. It feels like maybe you sort of downplay these two parts of yourself because either you're trying to avoid envy in terms of manifestation, or you're trying to avoid people taking advantage of your kindness and your sweetness. Because I'm definitely picking up on an energy that just loves to love. Dedicated effort in the upright. People see that you're multi-talented. They see that you're dedicated in any sort of thing that you put your mind to. And that is incredibly attractive. People are like, wow, that person's actually doing the damn thing. And they see how talented you are in whatever it is that you do. Win or lose, I actually really like this card because it's like, to me, it's saying like, you go for things. Even if you feel like you're gonna lose. Even if you feel like, you know, the chances of winning are not that high, you're still gonna go for it because you're like, life is too short not to try. I feel like it's not necessarily that you're not afraid of losing. It's almost like you're afraid of not trying. Like that's what you're more afraid of. Like, because maybe you realize that losing is not the end. Losing is just part of the process. You have to lose in order to recalculate. You have to lose sometimes to go back to the planning board and kind of figure out like what went wrong, what should I tweak, what should I do differently, and how do I apply that, and will that make me more successful if I apply those things. Like, it's honestly a very beautiful energy. Like, and I feel like people kind of pick up on this to some degree because you go for things. You're not afraid if you're gonna lose. You're not afraid of trying, and I feel like that really sticks out to people, and people really admire that about you. Open up, bottom of the deck. This kind of goes back with like, as soon as you open up your mouth, people fall in love with you. People see how wonderful, complex, how multifaceted, multi-talented you are, and they pick up on that when you open up to them. They may have an inkling or an idea of it, but they don't have any sort of, like, it's so much better, so much more incredible, so much more unique, mind-blowing than they even thought to begin with. And it just, people love the way in which your internal world works within you. You're incredibly beautiful, captivating. It's very lovely. I really like that. Alrighty, so that is the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed this, and if it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee, a bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. And if you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.